Ladies and gentlemen, right from his backyard so as not to wake up his children during nap time. He's an entrepreneur that you all know. He's been feeding us delicious desserts. But before I introduce the man, welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurs in Quarantine. Mr. Groleau, you've been feeding us. Man, I've been on so many dates, and you've been feeding my wife and I on snacks and treats and family birthdays. Rockaberry pies are literally a part of West Island and Montreal culture for so freaking long. You're a national hero, bro.
Well, it is.
And I'm glad,
man.
I'm glad you're joining us, man. We're going through a hard time. You've made some difficult decisions, and I thought that you'd be a great guy to speak with, so that other entrepreneurs and people going through hell can learn and understand how you did things to protect your family, your business, and the community. Kevin Groleau, who are you? What company did you found, and what's going on?
Basically, who am I? A young entrepreneur like you are, I guess. I've been around with the Rockaberry business now for a little over than 15 years. Together, me and my partner have 3 different locations, serving the West Island, like you said, and one in Vaudreuil.
Yep.
Since then, like I said, serving our beautiful pies, serving our beautiful customers. We have a great menu for food and everything else. It's been difficult times for all of us. It's not over yet. I think there's still a lot to do. I have been making some plans for the last few weeks for sure. I'm sure that a lot of other entrepreneurs have also.
But you haven't. But you've been really vocal on the decisions. You brought us into the journey of Rockaberries and how tough of a decision it was to close shop to protect all your staff and your family and everyone else. Tell us about what did you understand about what was going to happen. Bring us back from a few weeks ago until the time where you made the decision to close. Walk us through that journey and kind of what really happened.
I could actually bring you back for at least 6 to 8 weeks ago.
Please.
When everything started really hitting Europe and Asia, East Asia, obviously there was a concern it was going to come here into Canada and into Quebec. So I started right away contacting our financial institutions that we have loans with, that are banking with, and right away started to make some deals. So it started to make some like I said, there's relief that was needed right away.
Yeah.
Obviously, the banks weren't ready for that yet. Now that it's official, they are helping out a lot more. So we've secured things with banks as far as no payments for the next 6 months and that kind of stuff.
Right.
But these are negotiations that were already in place over a month and a half ago.
Wow.
Also, to start maybe planning ahead for extra funds, for cash flow potential, like what we've done last week. Gave away over $10,000 worth of inventory.
Wow.
We had no choice. So
you did something with On Rock. You really gave back to the community, right?
100%. We donated everything to a local food
Amazing.
bank. It's all perishables, right? So in our business, we deal with fresh food on a regular basis. So what am I going to do with it? Wait for 2 months and try to serve it to my customers? I can't. So we donated everything. And like I said, entrepreneurs are going to be faced with big obstacles when they reopen also. Our landlords up until now have been adamant on rent being paid no matter what. For them, it's business as usual. They have mortgages. We have mortgages. So we have to think about that for the next 2 to 3 months at least. And then once we reopen, think about that also. We have to think about inventory in the next few weeks also. We have to think about staff. I mean, we employ between 100 110 employees on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So, we had to let everybody go there also.
Yeah, it's a hard decision. You said a couple of interesting things. You're one of the few, or I think it's the exception, that people were so foresighted about what was going to happen. Maybe you're a visionary. Maybe you just had a reflex or a hunch. But you said a lot of interesting things that was echoed by my good friend George Tsikas, the bankruptcy trustee. When I asked him questions earlier during an interview about what should people do to protect the business, protect their staff, protect the good name, he was talking about being proactive. There was no magic, and you just described the roadmap. Tell us, who did you call and what did you say to these people?
I think when it all really started to really come home, a lot of people started to panicking, that's for sure. And they all went into survival mode. A lot of us had that first initial instinct. Let's go in survival mode. Let's see what I can do today and protect what I have today. Unfortunately, in our business, we have to think about tomorrow also. You know, that's what's going to make the big difference in between the entrepreneur that's in this business in the short term or the entrepreneur that's
Yeah,
in the business for the long term.
you got
I'm
it.
in it for the long term, so I've got to make
Yeah.
long-term decisions.
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop you right there. You call your bank. You call your landlord. You call, the people who have small business loans and equipment loans. You call these
Right.
people. What do you say?
I gave them a heads up. I said, look, we're going to be in a situation in the next few weeks. I think that being our partner now for the last decade or so, most of them have been with me for a decade or so. They've invested with me for all this time. I had to give them a heads up. They are our partners, right? So if I fail, they fail. If it's a symbiotic relationship, if you want.
You got it. You guys are You guys are partners. I mean, they've invested in you in the past 10 years,
Right.
and you haven't steered them wrong. And
That's
so
right.
that's so important about what you just said. I love that. Let's get into a little bit about what happens now. What are you doing now to prepare for for what happens next, to go back to normal whenever normal happens?
No, for sure. I mean, a little bit like the government, we shut it down in little blocks, right?
Yeah,
We didn't want to scare our employees either, or our customers at the same time, right?
sure.
So we didn't want to be part of that panic. So bit by bit, we did pretty much what everybody else was doing. We shut down our capacity by 50%. And then eventually the hard decision was we shut down capacity completely and just do takeout and delivery services, right? But in the end, it is what it is. Big restaurants like ours can't survive on just takeout and delivery. The overhead is way too big, and the numbers just don't make sense.
Yeah,
So in the end, instead of continue bleeding more and more, and my staff still waiting to see are they going to get paid and cutting their hours, the logical decision is just shut it down and let the government take care of them, I guess.
yeah.
And we're going to take a hit as entrepreneurs and move on from there. So
Um,
officially,
um,
yeah, we've been shut down since last Friday. In the meantime, what we're doing is we're cleaning up, we're restocking, and to be honest with you, you were saying about the future, we're reinventing also. I
hmm,
think it's going to be very important that entrepreneurs come out of this knowledgeable of what's happened, grow out of it, and take all this into consideration for their future ventures.
hmm,
I think you know what, it's a game changer what's happened. The restaurant business will forever be changed.
hmm.
In the right now in the present, obviously, look, Quebec. We'll just go into stats real quick. Quebec employs 230,000 people in the restaurant business. All right, that represents close to 7 to 8% of our working population, which is a big chunk. So obviously, as entrepreneurs, we have a responsibility towards them, towards our
Hmm.
suppliers, towards everybody else.
Sure.
So for now, I think our best bet, obviously, is to shut it down and let the government take care of them. There's a lot of them out there that are still open,
Sure.
that are running on skeleton crews, that are feeding the population, that are helping
Sure.
out with food banks. They're
Yeah,
all
there's a
doing
lot
their
of great.
part.
There's a lot of great initiatives. You and John Gumbley. I've been watching you over the past couple of weeks. John is doing amazing things, donating to the healthcare workers, first responders, and I know that you guys are close as well. So those are great initiatives. Those are some of the great things. What you've done with On Rock. It's incredible. You said some amazing things. You talked about using this time to reinvent your business, and
Right.
Rockaberries has constantly done that. I walked into Rockaberries 4 or 5 years ago and it was freshly renovated, new products, same great products, but freshen it up, go with the times, make sure
Yeah.
that you stay relevant.
I think
What's next? What's next for you? What's next for Rockaberries in terms of
you know what,
the next generation?
looking into the future, I think this is my personal opinion. Take it or leave it. I think restaurants are going to really have to start downsizing. I think those big restaurants you used to see back in the days of 200 seats, 300 seats, I think that's a thing of the past. And you see it right now in case of a shutdown. The smaller ones are still operating. The bigger ones are shut down, right?
Sure.
I think there's a big move towards takeout and delivery.
Mm,
More and more looking into the future with the new generations coming up.
of course.
We have to start we have to start looking into that a lot more. We have. In the past year, we've made great partnerships with Uber Eats, with Skip the Dishes, and now DoorDash coming up. We've done that move already, but as you can see, it's not enough to pay the bills.
Of course.
My overhead is way too big. But smaller stores, I think, in the future are called for. I think really downsizing the menu items.
Yes.
Having the less inventory as possible.
Mm.
Again, as you can see, we gave all away our food. We were lucky with that somebody could take it. But I mean, in the event that you have a very well diversified menu, thousands of different items in stock, that's a lot of money that goes into the garbage. And I think that in the future we have to look at another potential virus coming or another potential world event that could affect our business again. So downsizing menus, downsizing your kitchen items, downsizing
Love that advice.
The size of your restaurants. I think that's going to be, and you're going to see it more and more. It's going to be the way of the future, I think.
I mean, you're looking towards more of an on-demand, lean business model for the restaurant industry. I think it makes perfect sense to me. Mr. Groleau, how have you, as a family man, as a new stay-at-home dad like I am, how has life changed forever for you?
Well, the beauty of my situation is that my wife is an educator. She has a master's in psychology and she teaches at Dawson. So I have my own teacher here with my children.
Wow.
So, we're running a tight ship. We're giving them not only a schooling for school, like mathematics, French, English, so on and so on, but I'm also giving them life skills. I'm teaching them how to do some plumbing, some basic electricity, things that we tend to forget in our lives, It's beautiful. We send our kids to school, but are they teaching them how to cook? Are they teaching them how to change a fuse, or to do basic things that we do on that, like my father taught me, So that's where we're doing right now. We're homeschooling.
So this is
the best that we can.
This is going to be Kevin Groleau's homeschool of entrepreneurship. Maybe I'll drop my kids off.
No problem. I'll do everything online for you if you want. But for sure, like I said, in regards to restaurants, there's a big challenge in front of us. I think, and you know what? A bigger challenge is that once we're done all this, is our staff going to come back to us?
Mm-hmm. How are you? That's a good point. How are you maintaining communication with your staff? Have you been? What does that look like?
Yes, the thing is, what we've set up it's beautiful these days, right? We have social media, like we up to wazoo, right? So all my stores have their own little blogs on Facebook. They're closed groups that only staff and personnel see. I'm in communication with them on a regular basis in regards to like record of employment, where to apply for EI, that kind of stuff. And obviously my phone is on 24 hours a day, so they can continuously call me or text me any of their concerns. My age group is necessarily in between like 18 to 25, so a lot of them also it's the first time they encounter such a thing.
Of course.
So they need guidance, and we're there for them. So
I love it. Kevin, true leadership. I'll let you finish. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, in the end, like I said, it's going to be. I think we're faced with challenges now. Anybody else will lie to you if they say they're not being challenged.
Of course.
And there's bigger challenges to come. Cash flow is going to be a big issue. Staffing is going to be a big issue. There's going to be a demand across the board for different things, and like us with 100+ employees, maybe 70% will come back.
Mm.
So then, when people do start flocking to our restaurants again, will we be ready?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's going to be another challenge, and I don't think the government's going to open the floodgates. My personal opinion, again, in my forecasting ideas, I think they're going to do exactly the reverse of what they've done till now. So basically, they shut us down at 50% capacity. I truly believe they're going to reopen at 50% capacity also. So they're going to slowly just put us back into our businesses and stuff. So they're going to basically do the opposite, like reverse the chronology and go back to basics. And hopefully by June or July, we're back in business for terraces.
Kevin Groleau, incredible practical information. Every single restaurant owner and business owner at the retail level, I hope takes your advice. Proactivity, teaching your kids about plumbing and electricity, and about and lessons of entrepreneurship. Fantastic. Keep up the great work, man. I look forward to having my first piece of pie back when everything settles, man. Keep up the good work, and thanks for being with us on this episode of Entrepreneurs in Quarantine. See you soon, buddy.
Jamie, thanks a lot, man.
Ciao, brother.